So, good morning. First year Bcom Computer Applications, semester 1, FIT, Fundamentals of Information Technology. Unit 1 is completed, and Unit 2, there are two essay type chapters are there. First one is number systems. Second one is storage units or storage devices. So, in Unit 2, we have two chapters. First one is number systems, number system conversions and like that, and second one is storage devices or storage units. It is also compulsory essay type question from Unit 2. So, we start the PPT. So, what are the data storages or storage units or storage devices and memories, all these things. In the previous class also we may discuss about what are memories, different types of memories, their characteristics, their features, applications, advantages, like that. And in this chapter, in this class, we may discuss about storage devices or storage units, various hardware parts and components used in as storage devices, their characteristics, features, applications, like that. So, so what are the goals or what are the today's topics are? Describe the distinguishing characteristics of primary and secondary storages. So, what are the main differences, main features and applications, and differences, characteristics and functionalities of primary storage and secondary storage, or primary memory or secondary memory, or primary memory and auxiliary memory. Secondary memory is also called as auxiliary memory. So, next is the describe the way devices used to implement primary storage. So, how to implement or how to use primary memories or primary storage devices in a computer. So, which type of devices are used as a primary devices or primary memories? Describe memory allocation schemes, means how many types of memories are used and their allocations and working of memories, like that. And compare and control secondary storage technologies alternatively. So, comparison between various secondary storage devices, various or secondary storage memories, like that. So, similarly, we may describe about factors that determine storage devices performance, means the performance, how the primary and secondary devices and memories are performed, and choose appropriate storage technology and devices, means choosing various types of secondary devices, memories based on the requirements and user specifications. So, this is the brief explanation or diagram using storage devices. So, generally the various parameters or characteristics specified are used for explaining storage devices are speed, velocity, access, primary storage, CPU, memory access, magnetic storage, optic storage, like that. So, there are different parameters or different types of characteristics are used for specifying these things. That is, one is the speed, second one is velocity, or next one is volatility. Volatility means permanent or temporary, permanent storage or temporary storage. Access, primary storage means how to access or how to get the primary storage devices, and CPU, central processing memory access, magnetic storage, optical storage devices, like that. So, basically Input secondary storages or auxiliary storages are categorized into four types: magnetic tapes, magnetic disks, and optical disks, and flash memories or flash RAMs. So, what is that? Magnetic tapes, magnetic disks, magnetic optical disks, and flash memories or flash RAMs. So, all these memories like secondary storage devices and input output units and CPU or central processing unit and primary storages all are connected to central bus or central system or central cabling system called as system bus. And primary memory, what is a primary memory or a primary storage? It is a static, again different types of primary memories are used like static RAM or SRAM or SDRAM, dynamic RAM or DRAM, and non-volatile RAM memories like that. So, primary and secondary storage and their component devices. All these generally, all these devices are interconnected with each other by using some cables or system called as system bus, or it is called as some cabling system called as system bus. So, uh, there are many parameters are used while using storage devices like speed of the memories, and volatility means like permanent or temporary memory. Generally, what type of memory it is, like permanent memory or secondary memory, and access primary storage, and how to access, how to get primary storage, and CPU, central processing unit, and memory access, how to access memories, and how to access magnetic storage devices and optical storage devices like that. So, what are the characteristics of storage devices? Means generally there are different types of functions or functionalities or parameters are used. First one is speed. Speed means generally the speed of a memory transfer rate. Memory transfer rate means how far or how speed the data or information is transferred from input devices to memory, or main memory to secondary memory, or from main devices, input devices to secondary devices like that. Volatility means is it a permanent memory or is it a temporary memory? Access method means there are number of access mechanisms or access types are used, like access modes are used like random access, direct access, and random access method, and sequential accessing mode, sequential mode or sequential accessing mode, access random access mode, and like that. Portability means how portable they are, means portability means how teeny means how small, how small or how portability the devices are used. Cost and capacity means what is the cost of the secondary storage to establish and to attach to a computer, and capacity means the generally the storage capacity. Let's examine each of this. So, cost is one of the parameters, means generally primary memories are more coster than secondary memories, high coster memories. Primary memories are high coster memories and limited memories. And portability means the size. Portability means how portable means how may use in easy way method, means generally primary memories like RAMs or ROMs are very small in size. And access methods, so different types of memory access technologies or memory access devices. Accessing is like sequential, some storage devices access works in sequential access mode, some other works in random access mode, and others may work in direct mode, like relative mode. There are many types of access methodologies are also used, like sequential access, indexed sequential and indexed file accessing mode, and a relative mode or direct mode like that. And volatility means is it a permanent memory or a secondary memory or a permanent memory. Speed means how speed it is. So, the first parameter or characteristic is speed. So, generally speeds are measured in a computer system with so primary storage speed and secondary storage speed and data transfer rate. Data transfer rate means how many bytes or bits are transferred, how many bits or bytes are transferred from input devices to a memory or input devices to a CPU or from input devices to a secondary memory or a primary memory, like that. So primary storage speed, what is the primary storage or primary memory speed means typically faster than secondary storage speed by a factor of 100 or more, expressed in nanoseconds, billions of a second. Generally the speed of a memory, generally the speed of a memory is measured. So primary storage speed, so generally the speed of a primary memory or a primary storage is very high compared to secondary storage devices, 100 times more than it. And secondary storage devices is the speed of a secondary storage device is generally expressed in milliseconds. Milliseconds means thousands of a second. So generally how to measure a data transfer rate means the speed of data transfer rate in primary memory or a secondary memory is 1 second per access time in seconds. Means 1 second per means number of seconds taken, number of seconds taken to transfer one bit of information or 1 byte of information. So volatility. So next another characteristics or parameter is volatility. Volatility means either permanent memory or a temporary memory. So primary storage devices are generally volatile, means cannot reliably hold data for long periods. So as we know that primary storages are all primary storages means RAM, like that, are by default volatile. Volatile means the data or information, అంటే మనకి డేటా లేదా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అనేది ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఎరేజ్ అయిపోతుంది లేదా డిలీట్ అయిపోతుంది మనం పవర్ ఆఫ్ చేసినప్పుడు లేదా పవర్ పోయినప్పుడు కూడా. సో సెకండరీ స్టోరేజ్ డివైజెస్ ఆర్ జనరలీ నాన్ వాలటైల్. సో ఆల్ సెకండరీ స్టోరేజ్ డివైజెస్. సో వాట్ ఆర్ ప్రైమరీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఫర్ ప్రైమరీ స్టోరేజ్ డివైజెస్ మీన్స్ ర్యామ్. RAM is the primary storage device. What are secondary storage devices? Secondary storage devices are like hard disks, floppy disks, CDs, compact disc, DVDs, like that. So all secondary storage devices are generally non-volatile. Non-volatile means they are permanent in nature. All secondary storage devices are generally permanent, having permanent nature of storage. So they can store the data or information permanently as long as we keep them in safe place. So hold data without loss over long periods of time. Generally secondary devices are used to hold or store all the data or information, programs, application and program softwares in a permanent manner. Primary storage devices are generally volatile. Volatile means temporary in nature. Temporary in nature. Next is access methods. So what are different types of access methods, access mechanisms? Access methods and access mechanisms are used. So serial access, random access and parallel access. So different types of access mechanisms, access storage access mechanisms or storage methods are what are the different types of access mechanisms are used. Means what is access mechanism or access method? Access methods means the time taken to access a single bit or byte of information. The time. What is access mechanism? Access mechanism is nothing but it is the time taken to retrieve. Time taken to retrieve a single bit of information or a single byte of information from the storage unit to the main memory. సో అంటే మెయిన్ మెమరీలో లేదా అది సెకండరీ మెమరీలో లేదా మెయిన్ మెమరీలో ఉన్న డేటా లేదా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ లేదా ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ అనేది మనకి ఈ టెంపరీ రిజిస్టర్ సిపియులో ఉన్న టెంపరీ రిజిస్టర్కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయడానికి పట్టే టైంని మనం యాక్సెస్ మెకానిజం అని అంటాం. అలాగే ద మెకానిజం యూజ్డ్ ఆర్ ద technology used in secondary storage devices for accessing secondary storage data is also called as access methods. So there are different types of access methods are used, like sequential methods, indexed sequential methods, random access, direct access, and like that. So serial access, generally serial access means linear, such as a tape. Serial access means, what is a serial access? Or sequential access means serial linear, such as magnetic tapes. Examples of serial access means magnetic tapes are used. Magnetic tapes are used. Examples are like that, such as magnetic tapes. Second one is random access mechanism. First one is sequential access or random serial access. Second one is random access. Random access means direct access. Random access is also called as direct access, such as RAMs. Third one is parallel access. Parallel access means simultaneous access, such as RAID technologies and others. So next parameter in generally used in discussed in secondary storage is portability. So removable storage. Portability means how the size of the secondary storages are used. Means some devices are very teeny and small in size. For example, pen drives. For example, pen drives. Pen drives are very teeny and small in size. So removable storage media with standardized formats. Examples: compact disc and tape storages, and typically results in slower access speeds. And examples of means, for example, when we compare with CDs and DVDs, the size of the CD or DVDs, generally the pen drives or flash memories are generally, it is low in size. It is small in size, and it can be used to store limited storage capacity only, and the access speed is also some low, small access speed or lower speeds. Cost is also some cheaper. So another parameter which may discuss with secondary storages or auxiliary storage devices is cost and capacities. So what are the different types of costs? What are the various costs and capacities are used? Generally, cost increases with improved speed, volatility, or portability. As access method moves from serial to random to parallel access method, primary storage means expensive, high speed, and combination of parallel or random access methods. Capacity of secondary storage devices is greater than primary storage devices. So these are the different types of parameters we may use here. So జనరల్గా కాస్ట్ అనేది మెమరీలో చెప్పుకున్నాం. మెమరీలో అనేది టూ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ ఉంటాయి: ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ అండ్ సెకండరీ మెమరీ. ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ అండ్ సెకండరీ మెమరీ. సో ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ కాస్ట్ అనేది చాలా హై కాస్ట్. ప్రైమరీ మెమరీస్ ఆర్ వెరీ కాస్ట్లీ memories. Why? Because they are very speed and high speed memories. Why? Because they are very high speed memories. So cost is automatically increases with improved speed. Means whenever the speed of a memory is increased, the cost is also increases, gradually increases. Means the speed మనకు పెరిగితే, అంటే మెమరీ సంబంధించిన, అంటే ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ కానీ సెకండరీ మెమరీ కానీ స్టోరేజ్ యూనిట్కి సంబంధించిన స్పీడ్ అనేది, యాక్సెస్ స్పీడ్ లేదా స్పీడ్ అనేది మనకి పెరిగితే కాస్ట్ అనేది కూడా ఆటోమేటికల్గా పెరిగిపోతుంది. ఎందుకంటే హై స్పీడ్ మెమరీకి మనకి హై కాస్ట్ మనకి పే చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ర్యామ్ ఉంది. ర్యామ్ ఈజ్ వెరీ కాస్ట్లీ మెమరీ. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 2 GB ర్యామ్ ఈజ్ సంథింగ్ 2000 ఆర్ సంథింగ్. అదే మనకి 500 GB ఆర్ 1 TB హార్డ్ డిస్క్ అనేది మనకి జనరల్గా ఒక 4000 5000కి వచ్చేస్తుంది అనమాట. సో అలాగే వొలాటిలిటీ మీన్స్ కూడా మనకి డిపెండ్ అవుతుంది. వొలాటిలిటీ మీన్స్ పెర్మనెంట్ ఆర్ టెంపరీ. అంటే మనకి జనరల్గా టెంపరీ మెమరీస్ ఆర్ వెరీ హై కాస్ట్, permanent memories are very low cost. And portability is also another factor. Means the size of the device. Portability means the size of the device we may use. Next is, as access method moves from serial to random to parallel access method. So similarly, the cost also increases as the access method moves from serial to random as well as random to parallel methods. Next is primary storage. So primary storage is generally very high cost memories, expensive costly memories. Why? Because primary storage devices are high speed and combination of parallel or random access methods. Combination of parallel and random access methods. Primary storages are generally primary memories are high speed memories. Primary storages are high speed and expensive memories, and a combination of why? Because of using combination of parallel or random access methods. Next is capacity of secondary storage devices is greater than primary storage. So generally, as we know that the size of the capacity or the size. Capacity means what is the capacity or the size? Generally the capacity or storage capacity of a storage units are measured in జీబీస్. సెకండరీ స్టోరేజ్ మనకి కెపాసిటీ ఎలా మెజర్ చేస్తామండి, జీబీస్లో మెన్షన్ చేస్తాం. వాట్ ఈస్ జీబీ? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వీ హ్యావ్ సమ్ 500 జీబీ ఆఫ్ hard disk or 1 TGB of hard disk or 500 TGBs of hard disk or 1 terabytes 1 TGB of hard disk అని చెప్తాం. అలాగే మెమరీస్ మనకి పెన్ డ్రైవ్ ఉంది. పెన్ డ్రైవ్ ఈజ్ 4 GB పెన్ డ్రైవ్, 16 GB పెన్ డ్రైవ్, 8 GB పెన్ డ్రైవ్, ఇలా మనకి చెప్పుకుంటాం అనమాట. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద డిఫరెంట్ capacities of pen drives and capacities of memories are used. So the capacity of secondary storage devices is greater than primary storage devices. So generally, as we know that the size of the capacity or size of the secondary storage memories devices or the secondary storage memories are generally greater than primary storage devices or memories. So what are the different characteristics and parameters? What are the different characteristics and parameters which are used in while comparing or while using different primary and secondary memories? So storage devices characteristics and their relationship to the cost. So what are the characteristics? Speed, volatility, access mechanism, and portability and capacity. So what are the different characteristics of storage devices? And means first one is speed, second one is volatility, third one is access method, fourth one is portability, and fifth one is capacity. Speed means what is the speed? Time required to read or write a bit or byte or larger unit in a database. Second one is volatility, means ability to hold data indefinitely, means is it a permanent or permanent memory or a permanent storage. And secondary means generally if the speed of the storage device or memory is increases, the cost also increases. Second one is volatility. Volatility means for devices of similar type, cost decreases as well as increases. And access methodism means and portability means for devices of similar types, portability increases costs if all other characteristics are held constant. Capacity means cost usually increases in direct proportionate to capacity. So generally means if the cost of the memory or storage device is high, means it is a high capacity device, or if it is a high capacity memory unit, the cost is also increases. Portability means if it is teeny and portable, the cost is generally less or low. Access methodism means based on different technologies means direct memory access, sequential memory access, and direct memory access, and random memory access, like that. Based on different technology we may used, the cost is also changed. Next is volatility. Volatility means what is volatility? Is it a temporary or primary? Storage type is a temporary or permanent. Means generally if the storage type is temporary, that is like RAMs. They are very high cost memories, and it is a if it is a similar type or a smaller type, cost reduces. Speed is generally, the speed is also increases whenever with the speed of a data transfer rate. So whenever the speed is high, the data transfer rate is high, the cost is also high. So this diagram explains various characteristics or various functionalities or various parameters used in different secondary storage devices. So comparison, this is the comparison of storage devices in terms of cost and access speed. So we may compare various storage mechanisms with the cost as well as with the speed. So what are the different types of memories or storage devices here? CPU registers, CPU cache, random access memory or RAM, magnetic disks and magnetic drums, optical disks and magnetic tapes. All these are different secondary devices. Here some of them are primary storage devices like CPUs, and CPU cache memories and RAMs. Generally these are very costly memories and very high speed memories. Why? Because they are directly connected to the processor or CPU. And second, remaining devices like magnetic disks and optical disks and magnetic tapes are secondary storage devices or secondary storage auxiliary. They are also called as auxiliary storage devices. So here we may compare three parameters: access speed, cost per bit, and capacity. So in the primary storages, from RAM to CPU, capacity is very high, and capacity is decreases. And in the cost, as per the cost you compare it, generally the cost of the CPU registers are very high compared to RAM. Similarly, speed, access speed is very high for CPU registers compared with RAMs. Next is secondary, for the secondary storage devices like magnetic disks, optical disks and magnetic tapes. The speeds are generally gradually increases from magnetic disk to magnetic tapes. Means the speed is capacity for magnetic disk is low, whereas the magnetic tape is low, whereas magnetic disk is very high. And cost is also for magnetic disks, it is the cost is very high compared with magnetic tapes. And similarly for access speed or access speed is also very high for magnetic disks compared with the magnetic tapes. So what are the devices, different types of devices used? Primary storage, what are the primary storage devices, and what are the secondary storage devices, and what are their characteristics, and what are their functionalities, examples, all these things we may discuss here. So primary storage devices. So what are the, so basically memories or storage devices are of two types: primary storage devices and secondary storage devices. Secondary storage devices are also called as auxiliary storage devices. So what are the different characteristics of these two? Critical performance characteristics means access speed and a data transfer unit rate, and must closely match CPU speed and word size to avoid weight stages. So the main concept between primary storage devices and the secondary storage devices is access speed or access speed. It is called as a speed or access speed. So access speed means, what is access speed? It is used to time required or time taken to get a word from the memory to the main memory, from the secondary storage device to the main memory or registers. Means మనకి CPU registers నుంచి అది మెయిన్ మెమరీకి ఒక వర్డ్ని మనకి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అవ్వడానికి కావాల్సిన టైంని మనము యాక్సెస్ స్పీడ్ అని అంటాము, యాక్సెస్ టైం అని కూడా అంటాము. నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ డేటా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ యూనిట్ సైజ్. సిమిలర్లీ ఎందుకు మనకు కావాలి అంటే వాట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రిన్సిపల్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫార్ములా హియర్ ఈజ్ ద స్పీడ్ ఆఫ్ ద CPU is very high. CPU means processor. Speed of the CPU is very high. So the speed of the CPU should be matched with the access speed or data transfer rate while using memories, so that we may use primary memories to connect CPUs. So next is storing electrical signals. So how to store electrical signals? So directly, indirectly. So directly means by devices such as batteries and capacities, trade off between access speed and volatility. Indirectly means uses energy to, and modern computers use memory implemented with semiconductor RAM and NVM. So random access memories. So what are random access memories or RAMs? What are RAM or random access memory? Random access memory or RAM or main memory. So what are the characteristics? Microchip implementation using semiconductors. Microchip. What is a RAM or memory? What is the RAM or memory access? Random access memory or main memory means. What are the characteristics means? Microchip. RAM is nothing but, or memory is nothing but a microchip implementation using semiconductors. Ability to read and write with equal speed. Ability to read and write with equal speed. Random access to stored bytes. Random access to stored bytes, words or larger data units. And so what are the basic types of RAMs? Means static RAM or SRAM. Static RAM or SRAM, and dynamic RAM or DRAM. So what are the main characteristics of random access memory or RAMs or primary memory or main memory? First one is, it is a microchip implementation using semiconductor technology. And second one is ability to read and write with equal speeds. Means the speed of reading and writing, the updation, all deletion of memory contents, all are equal. And random access to stored bytes, words or larger data units. And so what are the different types of RAMs used? Means static RAM or SRAM. What is static RAM or SRAM? SRAM is nothing but faster than DRAM. So basically there are two types of RAMs, static RAM and dynamic RAM. In static RAM, it is generally faster than dynamic RAM, uses 6 transistors per bit, and dynamic RAM uses 1 transistor and 1 capacitor per bit. So random access memories. So what are the different types of different random access memory? What are the characteristics of random access memories like that? So to bridge performance gap between memory and microprocessors. So RAM is mainly used to avoid speed mismatch between the memory and the microprocessors. Generally it is read ahead memory access, semi synchronous and operations, synchronous read operations, on chip memory caches. So non-volatile memory. Volatile, what is volatile? VOLATILE. Volatile and non-volatile. Volatile and non-volatile. Volatile means temporary. Volatile means temporary memory. Non-volatile means it is a permanent memory. So RAM generally random access memory with longer term or permanent data retention, usually relegated or specialized roles. So different types of RAMs or types are also available, like ROM, EEPROM and EEPROM. So generally RAM is a non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memory means it is a temporary memory. Means what is a temporary memory? Whenever you switch off the computer, whenever you switch off the computer or power goes on, whenever you switch off the computer or the power goes off, the data, information, programs, applications and everything stored in the RAM are automatically erased. So whenever you switch off the computer or the power goes off, the data, information, programs, the instructions, applications, softwares stored inside a computer are inside the computer RAM are generally erased, so that it is called as a a temporary memory, so that it is called as a temporary memory or a non-volatile memory. Volatile is a permanent memory, non-volatile means it is a temporary memory. Next is non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memories means it is generally they are permanent memories. They are permanent memories and permanently stored devices or permanently stored memories. Like examples are flash RAMs or pen drives. Flash RAM. What is a flash memories or flash RAMs? They are very teeny or small in size and having very large capacities. What are flash RAMs? Flash RAMs have very teeny in size and having very large capacities. Most common NVMs. So competitive with DRAM in capacity and read performance, relatively slow write speed. Generally, these all secondary memories like pen drives or flash RAMs are slow. They performs slow in nature, or the data transfer speed is also slow, and they are very low cost high, but they are very high cost memories with cheap or low cost uh, devices. Relatively slow or write similarly limited number of write cycles. NVM technologies under development. So So what are the main secondary storage devices? What are the main secondary storage devices or auxiliary storage devices? So there are many types of secondary storage devices or auxiliary storage devices are there. We may discuss one by one with each of them. Examples are magnetic tapes, magnetic discs, like that, magnetic discs, magnetic tapes, magnetic drums, floppy disks, and similarly like so we start with magnetic storage devices. So what are magnetic storage devices? They are also called as secondary devices or secondary storage devices or auxiliary storage devices. Exploits duality of magnetism and electricity. So generally these devices are made up of with some magnetic media, coated with some magnetic media to store data or information generally on them, and converts electrical signal into magnetic charges, captures magnetic charge on a storage medium, later regenerates electrical current from stored magnetic charge. So polarity of magnetic charges. So these are the working of the magnetic devices. So this is the principles of how the magnetic data storage devices are working or used. So here we may use some magnetic material. Generally in the magnetic devices, like we may use different components like some magnetic material and some electrical and electronic signals and some medium like magnetic medium to write on them. So magnetic storage medium means magnetic tapes, the tapes which are used in audio tapes, like that, so that it is called as a magnetic. So what are the different components of magnetic secondary storage devices? Generally for used in magnetic tapes and magnetic drums, means magnetic storage, magnetic mediums or tapes, and magnetic fields, and some read write heads, and electrical wires, electrical electronic components, generally wires which are wounded with some magnetic material. So there are many factors, there are different types of factors or characteristics are used that lead to data loss in magnetic storage devices. So what are the magnetic delay and magnetic leakage, like that. So another type of important magnetic another type of secondary storage device, olden, all these are used in olden days or previous days.